request, but we cannot make effective deployment without conducting assessment. So to answer your question, right, is that assessment has to be conducted. If the place is fit for the purpose, then we will make deployment. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Honorable Speaker, if you would allow me, I want to make a special appeal to the Minister. From the 100 million that was allocated to Ministry of Agriculture, Department of Livestock Services brought 3 new vehicles to be able to do their errands in the regions. And one of those vehicles was impounded by the PIU when it was coming from these medications for them to go and do inoculations of animals in the field, and it was impounded. Can I make a special appeal as the chair of the Agri Select Committee to please look into this matter?
Honorable Speaker.
An appeal or a supplementary question?
Honorable Speaker, if you don't mind, I just want to add something to that appeal for clarification, because I want to appeal on the basis of factual issues. All that I know is that the police has no right to impound the vehicle. However, they usually request to the government vehicle controller for possible assistance, and I want to strongly believe that that was the case in the circumstances. Probably there was a miscommunication to the user of that particular vehicle. But in any case, they have no power, they have no right to seize people's vehicle. I will talk to them and see what happened exactly. But if it is something that's approved by the government vehicle controller, then and it's communicated, then I don't think they are in any fault. Thank you.
I saw your tap of Bashe. We have exhausted our 7 already for this question.
Mine is a point of order, Honourable Speaker, with your permission. Okay, my point of order is Standing Order 6.3. Honourable Speaker, unless otherwise, Standing Order 6.3 is reading, in the absence of both the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, a member of the Assembly elected for the purpose shall preside.
Honorable Member, there was no objection to. Since I came to the chair, there was no objection. The session continues until further notice. Move to question number 42 by Honorable Member for Nyamena East constituency, Honorable Omar Sisi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The member has given me the authority to ask the question on his behalf. Honorable Speaker, 3 men were deliberately killed in the community of Nyamena Kudang, including Bambo Dawo, who was recently killed on Tuesday night, 23rd February 2021. Can the Honorable Minister for Interior inform this August Assembly whether anyone is apprehended in relation to these killings?
Honorable Speaker, Kudang Police Station received information on 2 suspected murder cases and assault causing grievous bodily harm between August 2020 and February 2021. One of the suspected murder cases occurred on the 15th of August 2020. The deceased is one Guinea-Bissau national called Nyancho, a suspected lunatic found lying in an unfinished building with injuries on his head. He was taken to Kudang Health Center where he was pronounced dead. The corpse was taken to Bansang Hospital, but the mortuary was not functional at the time, and the doctors advised the corpse to be buried because the body was then in a bad state. In this case, no arrest is made, but the police are still investigating into the matter. The second suspected murder case involved one Bambo Dabo as the victim. Investigation into this case is still ongoing. 4 people were arrested and questioned about the incident on the grounds that they were together with the deceased on the night of the incident. This is on the presumption that they are likely to know what happened to the deceased on that night. Further information, however, there is no evidence connecting them to the offense. Notwithstanding, all those arrested were tentatively cautioned and detained for 72 hours before being granted bail while the investigation continues. Autopsy, that's the postmortem, was conducted on the deceased to ascertain the cause of death, and the police are awaiting this report. The suspected assault case, that's the third case. The suspected assault causing actual bodily harm involved one Keba Faye, also a suspected lunatic from Senegal, who was found lying with severe injuries sustained on his jaw. There was general assumption that Keba Faye died due to his motionless state. He was then referred to LVGH, Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, where he was admitted, treated, and discharged. The police involvement in the process of leaving the jurisdiction. Consequently, there is some typo error here. Consequently, Keba Faye left the jurisdiction. To clarify the issue here is that when he was found, he was motionless. And there was a general belief that he was dead at the time. But when he was moved to the medical facility, he survived, and then was later treated and discharged. But he is nowhere to be traced at the moment. He's left the jurisdiction. Thank you.
Any supplementary question?
Yes.
One.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Now, Honorable Speaker, would the Honorable Minister confirm if there was any, on the other 2 murder cases, if there were any evidence that were collected by the police in terms of murder weapon, in terms of blood stains or fingerprints? Was anything collected on those 2 other murders?
I have no information as to that, but what I know is that for standard scene of crime investigation, anything found nearby and is of evidential value to the case is normally lifted. And I'll find out from them, but this is my belief at the moment that all necessary actions have been taken in just like in any other scene of crime investigation. Thank you.
Honorable, do you have a second supplementary? Honorable Willie West.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the question is not very clear the way it is formulated. First, it gives the impression that all the people were killed almost at the same time. But then, it's also indicating that the last person was killed at a different time. So my question is, were these people killed together? Or what was the reason for their killing?
What I'm certain of is that they are not together. Both are, although both are, one of the first person he's a lunatic. And he has no connection, social connection with the second disease. As you said, because what is worrying here is the deliberate killing. That one I find it very difficult to apprehend, because you cannot say deliberate killing when the evidence is yet to be out. So some of the murder cases may turn to be a manslaughter cases where there is no intention to kill and you ended up killing. So it's not clear here. But all that I know is that the two victims are not together, and they have no social link. The first one, the second one is a person of sound mind. The first one is not of a sound mind. Thank you.
Any other contribution? Honorable Janjambure.
Mr. Honorable Speaker, the Minister is telling us for all the three murder cases, no arrest had been made effectively.
As I said earlier, 4 suspects were arrested, and I think if you get me right, you would have known that. But they were detained, and up to 72 hours, there is no evidence connecting them, and they were released on bail. So they are suspects, but then we have up to this point, we have no evidence to associate them to the killing. The only presumption that we have is that they were seen with the victim that very night.
Honorable Jara West.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. My doubt here is, Honorable Minister, the case of Dembo Dabo happens on the 23rd February in 2021. And in the answer that you provide, if I heard you well, you're still waiting for the postmortem result from the medical unit. How is that possible from January to now? You cannot get the result of the postmortem.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We have to read this particular response in the light of the first session. So that's the situation. I'm sure the results might be out by now. But at the time of writing this one, it was not out at the time, and this was some months ago. Thank you.
Honorable Brikama Not. Okay. For Basse.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Hence, we are dealing with 3 killings. And the question is about whether anyone is apprehended in relation to these 3 killings. From the answer of the Minister, no, from the answer of the Minister, I think we read 1 Nyancho, 1 Bamboo, and 1 something Senegalese. It is national. Okay, it's not that. So now we have 2 killings. The Honorable Minister did answer, provide in his answers that 4 suspects were arrested. Those 4 suspects arrested, they were arrested in relation to the killing of who?
Thank you very much. If you follow the trend, I raise cases one after the other. So if you look at the ones, the 4 suspects are in connection with 1. I'm trying to fish out the one that you are in connection with. That is Bambo Dabo. As I said, the second suspected murder case involved 1 Bambo Dabo as a victim. Investigation into this is still ongoing. 4 people were arrested and questioned. So the four people arrested were in connection with Bambo's death.
Such that our list will move to question number 43 by the Honorable Member for Tumana.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, road accidents is a cause for concern in this country. Can the Honorable Minister for Interior inform this August Assembly the statistical data of road accidents that occurs for the past 4 consecutive years and the reasons for such accidents?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The accident data for the past 4 years is as follows. In 2018, 775 accidents. In 2019, 515. In 2020, 787. In the first quarter of this year, 142. Generally, road accidents are attributed to several factors, including condition of road, vehicle, and attitude of drivers. That is the negligence, recklessness, dangerous driving, attitude, driving under the influence of alcohol, neglecting traffic signboards, overspeeding, and use of mobile phones while driving. Needed for further disaggregation. Honorable Speaker, may I inform the honorable members that my ministry, through the Office of the Inspector General of Police, is working hard to reduce road accidents. The following measures are currently being employed. The placement of traffic cones to serve as indicators for speed limits in sharp and bend junctions. Ongoing public sensitization on road safety for drivers, pedestrians, and other road users on Poliso, FM, GRTS, and other private radio stations. Ongoing installation of CCTV cameras on strategic places to record traffic offenses and brought them to book. Increasing the number of police present to ensure road users are safe, thus reduce road traffic accidents. My ministry, in collaboration with the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, has established a national committee on road safety house at the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, with the aim of coordinating the road safety initiative as mentioned above. In addition, my ministry continues to engage the National Road Authority on the construction of sleeping police, erection of road signs, and marking of roads. The introduction of vigorous testing regime of vehicles and drivers this year is another example. Thank you.
Honorable Member, you have 2 supplementary questions.
Yes, from his answers, he made mention of trying to engage a sister ministry, that's the Ministry of Works, to try to put in this sleeping police in some of the routes. I wanted to ask whether Tumana constituency or the new route that is just been constructed from Basse, Tumana to Kantora, whether that will also be factored in, looking at the number of road accidents happening around that end.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I'm not sure whether that particular area is captured, but there was an assessment conducted in 2020 where about almost more than 100 areas are identified that requires humps to reduce the speed of vehicles. So probably, I'm not sure, because if that road was constructed before or after their assessment, most likely it's not going to be captured. But if the honorable minister is very much, honorable member is very much concerned, we would mind also to take it up with the committee to see, to conduct a tour there and see where it is feasible. Thank you.
Do you have any further questions? Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Honorable Minister, you mentioned some ways of trying to reduce accident. Are you considering also the issuance of license to minors? Because nowadays you can see a lot of minors are now driving.
As far as I know, our system is such that unless if you put somebody who is a minor for driver's license or ID card, the system would automatically stop it. But I don't know, because people can inflate or tamper with their national documents or make false declaration to increase their numbers. But as far as I know, if you acquire an ID card or a license and a date lower than or lower than the required age, definitely you'll be rejected. So I want to believe that quite a number of people, if there is any, probably they must have at least increased their age and then acquire documents in that respect, birth certificate more especially. But for the ID card and other documents that you are using as of now, the moment you put a date that is lower than the required age for that purpose, then it will be rejected. For ID card, 18, less than 18, you'll be rejected. For driver's license, for commercial purpose, 21 years, you'll be rejected. Less than that, you will be rejected. So it's a possibility, but we'll also look at it and see to at least tighten our belt, secure our belt more, so that at least those things will not happen. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Same.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just want the Honorable Minister to answer this question for me. Is your ministry in touch with the Ministry of Works in order to look at certain areas where these speed bumps are necessary to be constructed?
Well, I think I've answered that question already, but then notwithstanding, I was still. An assessment has been conducted, and I said over 100 spots were identified. Okay, we are engaging them to at least build. And I've even offered manpower from our maintenance team free, so that at least we will do it. And I can also seek assistance from the Army Engineering Unit also to help. So the sooner that is done, but the spots are already identified, and there are several. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Sabastanjal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My question is, looking at the rate of this accident, the data you gave us, you believe that most of these accidents are caused by high speed. I think that is why you are introducing this speed bump on the highways. Is that the truth?
Honorable Speaker, this is one of the measures to stop it. We are not saying linking it definitely to overspeeding, because I've already mentioned factors that are attributed to accidents. You know, it could be on the driver's conduct. It could be conduct in a way that is driving. Even the vehicle structure. If the vehicle is not roadworthy or has some mechanical problems, then that will lead to accidents. But as of now, what we can show, our main target is to erect speed bumps to reduce the speed. Even if your skills are very rough, that will allow you to, that will make you to stop and then drive slowly in the villages.
Honorable Member for Jara Kian Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you will quite agree with me that series of factors are responsible for this accident, and I want to believe one of them is we need to look at the age bracket at which somebody is issued with a license. Don't you think it's advisable to revise it upward? I want to believe 18 is very low.
I have equal feeling with you as to the age, but we'll make a consultation on it and see what is, because for commercial vehicles, 21, probably your maturity level is still low. Yes, so, but it all depends. We will look at, and we'll put it to the public to see the reaction of the public before we do anything. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Basse.
Honourable Speaker, thank you. We thank the Minister for the statistical data. If you look at 2018, 775, 2019, 515, it has reduced. So you must use a method that brings the figure down. But if you look at 2020, the figure rise up, 788. What happened between 2018 to 2019 and 2019 to 2018?
There's a need for us to study the patterns and where they are located, because accidents happen, as I said, they have a lot of factors. And then, especially this is data of the whole country. So we have to go strip it down to areas where it happens and know exactly what is in there and what has not been there to put it down. So that study has not been conducted yet, but I'm sure when I put this into the police, the statistics unit, they'll be able to tell us exactly where accidents are frequent and the likely contributing factors to those frequency of accidents. And there then we can know. Probably also, it could also be linked to effective policing. You know, sometimes even when you put a particular police officer at a certain location, crime goes down. When you move into another area, it comes up. It has some personality distinct also in the implementation stage. So we'll look at it and see what actually happened for that huge reduction, and then back to the same level again, even a little bit more than the previous years. Thank you.
We have exhausted the 7. We now move to question number 44 by the Honorable Member from Tumanna. Honorable Member.
Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister for Interior inform this August Assembly the number of fire stations all over the country and the number of fire tenders in each of the fire stations and their conditions?
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, the number of fire stations in the country are 11, namely Banjul, Bakau, Serekunda, Kotu, Brikama, Kanilai, Soma, Farafenye, Bansang, Basse, and Bara. However, fire and rescue service could not respond from 2 of the stations, that is Bakau and Kotu. And just 2 days ago also, we have a problem with Brikama due to mechanical problems, while the 9 fire tenders that are operational are below the required standards of a fully equipped fire tender for the fire station. Thank you.
Honorable Member, supplementary? Yeah.
Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister will agree with me that, the issue of Bakau is not 1 year issue or 2, and it's not 3 years issue. The issue of Bakote, the issue of Kotu as well. The recent one is just of Brikama, and looking at the population in the Kanefi Municipal Council is densely populated. So if 2 of the stations in KMC have a problem, what will be the other alternative? Since way back, Banjul also have a problem. The State House one has an accident, and looking at the situation on the ground, what will be the other alternative?
Well, what used to happen is that when there is fire in one location and they are constrained, the other locations respond to the fire. We had a series of fire incidents where fire tenders from a far distance will come to rescue that location. That's the procedure. But as I said earlier, maintaining a fully equipped fire station is definitely required a lot of resources. I made mention of it earlier this afternoon. If we are to get fully equip all the fire stations, at least every fire station will require nothing less than 100 million for the 11 million. So this is the issue. And then this has been all government's issue from colonial time. To fund the fire service has been the issue. We are all desperate. Even the government of the day is seriously desperate. About 2 weeks ago, His Excellency invited the Chief Fire Officer and then to brief us on the situation. And everybody was surprised that for almost 20-something to 30 years, there is no new fire tender, purchased by the government. So the president promised that he will definitely going to do something about it. And a budget is already on the way, and I'm sure it's coming to you here again. I said we need your blessing of that supplementary bill. Thank you.
Honorable member from Tumanna.
Thank you again, Honorable Speaker. Yeah, this is a cause of concern because fire incident is something that is inevitable, and we've been seeing it taking lives of Gambians. So I just want to be specific to know the supplementary appropriation bill that you want to come up with. Do you factor in this particular issue? Because an individual who works for the his or her entire life will put up a house, his entire life saving will be in that house. At the end of the day, you lose it just within the blink of an eye. 10 minutes is gone. So it's an issue that we need to.
Honorable members, I want to bring to your attention that you have to stop laying the foundation. You have only 1 minute for your questions. Please.
Honorable Speaker, just to clarify, I made mention of assessment being conducted by Chief of Operations, a countrywide assessment, and this includes the Chief of Operations from the Fire and Rescue Service. And then every service has captured their needs, and this is what we are going to put in the supplementary bill. So it will definitely include the fire service. But as a temporary measures, what we are doing now is that we are in contact with our partners, and then I think about 7 fire tenders are on the way. We've already approved their shipment fund, because that's the only requirement from us, and then they are going to be shipped to the Gambia from UK. Thank you.
Honorable member from Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you mentioned I think you said 11 fire stations, and you named them, but you did not name Bajakunda fire station. Is it that Bajakunda is not ready, or you are not ready to commence the operation at Bajakunda?
It is not operational, so it's not a fire station. It's just a mere structure at the moment. Unless it is operational, it becomes a fire station. Thank you.
Honorable member for Jara West.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. 3 of the mentioned 11 stations are not functioning. Some of them a year or 2 years ago, and the other one also at State House has a problem. Have you not budgeted this during the last budget session to at least have one fire tender?
This budget issue, Honorable Speaker, was we were called here to discuss on the budget, and we clearly, categorically made it very clear that all the government departments have a ceiling, and that ceiling, unless that ceiling is veil is moved, we cannot intrude. So we find ourselves in a corner because of the ceiling. So we've made mention of this several times, and nothing is done. But I think what is happening this year is very, very amazing and very important to us, because we have seen the Honorable House being very, very instrumental in the fight against crimes and also fire incidents. So hopefully all these things will be things of past very soon with the cooperation of everybody. Thank you.
Honorable member from Brikama North.
Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister did indicate that just 2 days ago, the Brikama fire station developed some mechanical problems. What emergency measures or alternative services have you put in place for Brikama area?
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, we cannot replace that vehicle as at now, but we can shift the operational capability from Banjul or Town to cover Brikama temporarily until that vehicle is back on the road. Thank you.
Honorable member for Basse.
Speaker, thank you. We all agree that fire station without hydrants, they cannot serve the purpose. The Honorable Minister may recall in the entire URR there was only one hydrant located in Kobakunda. I don't know whether the number has increased now. If the number didn't increase in other districts, whether the Honorable Minister can give us any assurance that the number of hydrants are going to be increased. The reason is, if there's fire incident in Kantora, if the vehicle move from Basse to Kantora, with the little water that it has in the tank, if that water finishes, the vehicle has to come back to Basse to Kobakunda to refill the tank and go back. The fire will not be waiting. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Interior is not responsible of hydrants. We are users of hydrant. We use the facility, but the facility is not installed by, it's installed by NAWEC, and even NAWEC installation, the fire service as the user sometimes has some complications on the fittings, because the compatibility of the fittings sometimes, when it's not compatible with the fire tender, we cannot even fetch from that hydrant. So, but there is a universal fitting that is now made available. But to answer your question right, is that that's the responsibility of NAWEC to install or to put in place hydrants at locations. But since it's a concern, and there is a fire station in Basse, and we will engage them to see whether they can extend the installation of hydrant to the location that is preferable. Thank you.
Honorable Member, Serekunda West.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Minister, you said to maintain a fire station will cost 100 million. Is that a one-off or an annual basis?
Why I said so is that the fire tender alone is 25 million, standard, fully equipped. And Every fire station should have 2 of that to for a standard fire station. That is 50 million. The infrastructure and other accessories. That's why I said nothing less than 100 million. Thank you.
We have one more. Any other intervention? Honorable Member for Latrikunda Savage.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you made mention of Georgetown or Banjul being covering for Brikama. Do you put into the consideration the nature of the traffic from this end to right down to Brikama? Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, when you have only a lake, you know how to go out, how to walk. So we make necessary plan, because actually also on fire tenders running on emergency, definitely people respect the give way to them. It is only certain narrow routes, but for the traffic, definitely, like ambulance, I've seen ambulance and no obstruction caused to ambulance and fire service. It's only that sometimes the roads are very narrow, and then there's a build-up on the road that obstructs them. But from Brikama to this, then they can respond as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Honorable members, we will now move to the June questions for the Minister of Interior. Question number 76 of 2021 by the member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Bakau Police Station is constrained with lack of mobility. Can the Honorable Minister for Interior inform this August Assembly what is preventing his ministry from providing service official vehicle to the station?
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, the vehicle allocated to Bakau Station has a serious breakdown and currently on the list of vehicles to be auctioned. However, there are current plans to secure vehicles for Bakau and other stations for a better service delivery. In this regard, operational commanders, as I mentioned earlier, have already conducted countrywide assessment for the vehicles, which is intended to be submitted to the Ministry of Finance as supplementary budget for consideration and also approval by this Honorable House.
Member, any supplementary question?
Yes, please. Honorable Minister, according to my sources, there are more than 50 pickup vehicles parked at State House, awaiting for the forthcoming campaign for the presidential election. How prepared are you to speak to the President to secure one for Bakau Police Station?
Your words are here, but I went to the State House. I've not seen that. That's one. And we've engaged the President on the allocation, and then he advised us to do this, to conduct this assessment, so that at least we'll put up a supplementary budget if possible. But to say we can tap from the State House, no. I have not seen any people line up in the State House as described by you. Thank you.
Will you have a second supplementary question?
Yes, Honorable.
Please go ahead.
Honorable Minister, how soon are you prepared to make this allocation for Bakau Police Station?
Honorable Speaker, as soon as the budget is approved, we will make the vehicle available to Bakau Station and other stations. Thank you. Supplementary budget is approved.
Any supplementary? We now move to question number 77 by the Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is an open secret that petty crimes and assaults are eminent in our neighborhoods, and other public institutions like markets and schools are used as hideouts. Can the Honorable Minister for Interior informed this August Assembly what is his ministry doing to put a stop to this public threat?
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, the country has definitely witnessed increase in crime, including violent crime, with certain public areas turned into criminal hideouts, which sends the nation into panic mode. Honorable Speaker, to address the situation, Operation Zero Crime was launched on the 2nd of April 2021 to target criminal hideouts within Banjul, Kanifing, and West Coast. With the acquisition of more funding from the government, the operation was later expanded to other regions. The positive outcome of the Operation Zero Crime is its contribution to the reduction of crimes, as daily incident reports shows gradual decline in the total number of criminal cases reported at police stations since the commencement of the operation. Honorable Speaker, other mechanisms employed to improve public safety and eradicate fear include strengthening the community engagement policing strategy, targeting schools and communities, as the security sector alone cannot fight crimes but need the support of the community. The security services have been engaging the community in the practice of community policing in all regions. Currently, as we speak, the community policing unit is engaged in a nationwide anti-crime education campaign, targeting mostly higher learning institutions. Honorable Speaker, apart from the personnel involved or taking part in Operation Zero Crime, police stations have also increased visibility in the public institutions and areas such as schools, markets within our area of responsibility for confidence building. Honorable Speaker, since the inception of Operation Zero Crime to date, I wish to inform that several arrests were made. After a thorough screening, some of the arrested persons were released due to insufficient evidence. Others referred to immigration and drug law enforcement agency for further investigative action, while the remaining suspects to criminal offenses were handled by the police and the prosecution has since commenced. Honorable Speaker, I wish to state that we have positive results from some community members in providing vital information regarding criminals and criminal hideouts in the country, which has helped the police in effecting arrests on suspects. I wish to seize this opportunity to thank members of the public, including this Honorable House, for their support during this trying time. Further, I call on all and sundry to support the security in ensuring a safe Gambia. Thank you.
Honorable Member, your supplementary question?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you talked about introducing community policing in certain areas. How soon is your ministry ready to introduce similar one in Bakau, of which I would like to take part?
I think the units are all over the country as at now. And what we can do best is to connect the personnel to you so that you can facilitate their community contacts in Bakau. But there are units. Station officers are identified, and every station officer is tasked. Apart from the community policing unit, every station officer is tasked to coordinate with the members of your community in crime prevention. Thank you.
Go ahead with your second supplementary.
Yes, there was a time when we engaged the former station officer in Bakau. Within a short period, he's moved. So the whole thing died away. So with your intervention, we'll like to have similar engagement with the ministry so that we can have one in Bakau.
Sorry, I don't know who is the station officer at the location at the moment, but I think it is his responsibility the moment he is posted to that particular station to have contacts with the Alcalo, the Imam, members of parliament, the VDC of this thing, so as this to coordinate and see and work with them to make sure that the area is crime free. Thank you.
He's a new station officer called One Conta. His second name is Conta. I think he's Fode Conta. Fode Conta, I believe he's...
Okay. Okay, we'll take care of that. I know him. I just returned from peacekeeping and he's posted there, yes. I know him personally. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Bashe.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. But what is lacking is the motivation and the encouragement. The motivation from the side of the police and the encouragement from the side of the community. Because what happens normally, if the community policing members help the police to identify a crime.
Member, are you making a statement or a supplementary question?
I have 1 minute. I know I have 1 minute.
Go to the supplement. You have only 1 minute and 50 seconds has already gone.
Okay. Thank you very much. What I want to ask from the ministry, what are you doing to make this community policing useful for the police and for the community?
Thank you very much. We have already developed the Gambia Police Force UNDP Community Policing Strategy, and then it's in the high gears at now, because the motivative aspect of it and encouragement aspect of it is going to be sponsored most likely by the UNDP, so that at least to facilitate their movement and also to organize forums where certain expenditures will be incurred and then can be paid for. Because if you need to go to communities, you have to sit with them. And the time that you sit with them, you have to at least cater something for them. At least during that, if it is refreshment or food, for the time that they are going to be with you. So this is that's the strategy that we raised, and it's going to be supported by the UNDP. Thank you.
Woolly East.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you know, I engaged you on this community policy some time ago. It will require the police working together with the community. And in order to do that, the community must understand the police and the police must understand the community. And if there is a program, can you please help this August Assembly, the program that you are running, so that we will know the program and we will also be able to help the community to understand this program. Because there is a problem of understanding, as the member for Basel said. It will be very important for us to have, exactly how you are going about this program.
I may not be able to enlighten you on the program, but the program has already been designed by the police, and then at the completion of that program, we wouldn't mind sharing it with the members of parliament, because you are available in all locations, and you can also facilitate the contact between the police and the community. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Bintang Karanai.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, community policing really is very, very important. But my concern is some of these community people go and report some criminals at the police stations. And my concern is, how are they protected? Well, they must be protected if the criminals know that this person reported me. So how are they protected? Because that can encourage, if they have protection, that can encourage them to report criminals to the police station. But if they are not protected, it's a problem.
Community policing scheme is different from sharing intelligence with the police or some sort of an informant. This is a different scheme. You can pass information and you will be protected by the police officer. But if you are a community member and you want to protect your own area, that's a self-sacrifice. You have to endure everything that it takes to be able to save your community. You'll be protected, definitely, but to say we have to give you a protection before you will join us, we all protect the rest of the people. Thank you.
Member, there Yasin.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister, in his response, he was talking about the funding of the United Nations. Is it that the United Nations is only funding it? What is the share of the government? Thank you.
The government is, Honorable Speaker, the government is definitely contributing everything that it takes to make sure that the people are saved. These are only complementary assistance from other partners that they are doing. Thank you.
Any supplementary question? Honorable Member for Basse, you have an observation that you want to make before we proceed.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, with your permission, is just to further inform the Honorable Minister about community policing, how it is going in some of the communities. Sometimes these community members, their cooperation at the end of the day, the way they are treated at the police discourage them to continue on their community policing works. Because sometimes if you help them to identify a criminal or to identify something, you become now a principal witness. And that you can spend the whole day, or in fact 2-3 days with the police while they are doing their investigation. So a farmer, for example, who is helping to do that and fall in that situation, next time if a similar thing happens, even if he is now, he can help, but considering the consequences, he will withdraw. So in fact, this is the problem that is affecting the community policing, especially at the rural areas. I don't know what you can do to take it into consideration.
Honorable Speaker, I think this all depends on the circumstances. You know, as I said earlier, the community should be ready to fight crime together with the police. Okay, passing certain information in a clandestine way is fine. Then you will not be disclosed. Okay, but nothing stops you from seeing somebody breaking into somebody's house and giving information as to that action of that person. That every citizen should do that. So that has been the problem. People don't want to be seen. And the police we are there and we need the assistance of the police. It's our responsibility to put crime down. Okay, but we need to partner with the community. The community also should make some sacrifice to make sure that we live in a very decent environment. And the only way to do that is that if you see something, go inform the police and let that person know that you are even the one informing the police, because at the end of the day, the detriment that he's going to cause is going to affect you. We wouldn't mind also, because there are certain intelligence that you can pass to the police that you will never be disclosed. You know? Because the rule is that police, they will not disclose their informant. You know? But if the informant is part of the police community scheme, then you are part of the game. You should be ready to be part of the game to fight against crime. That's what we are urging every citizen to do. Because if your private property is attacked, you will definitely come out. If somebody comes to take your television, probably you insist that your television is not going. Equally, if you have seen somebody breaking into somebody's house, even if you don't have the power, you can alert the police and be ready to say, I see you when you are breaking that distance. I saw you when you are breaking that distance. That's nothing. But if you are scared of that, and the police have no evidence to connect that person, then the person will be taken to court and go free. Because we need evidence, whether real or circumstantial evidence, to connect that individual to the crime. Where that is lacking, the person will be acquitted and discharged. So the community is also not only giving information, but they should also be part of the crime preventive thing, in order to help and protect their own environment. Thank you.
Honorable members and Honorable Minister, I want to bring your attention to Standing Order 43.3. The time taken to ask a supplementary question shall be no longer than 1 minute, and an answer to the supplementary question shall be no longer than 2 minutes. This period may be extended at the discretion of the Speaker. So honorable members and honorable minister, if you can shorten your questions and your answers, it will be very helpful. We now move to question number 78 by the honorable member for Kiang West. Honorable member, Willie West.
They are the same. These have already been answered.
Yeah, honorable, yeah, sorry.
Okay, the 78 was already, 38 was already dealt with, so the honorable minister, member, do you want to withdraw your question?
Certainly, yes. The questions are similar like that of the honorable member for Brikama South, so the question is hereby withdrawn.
We now move to question number 79 by the honorable member for Sabak Sanjal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister for Interior explain to this August Assembly the way and manner in which the contract for the manufacturing and production of aluminum number plates with barcode data was awarded to Comfort Quality Service?
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, the contract awarded for the production of aluminum number plate was through restricted tender process. Owing to the audit report 2018, in which the auditors concluded that the actual revenue from the sale of number plates for contract period 2016-2017 was 6.2 million compared to the actual revenue lost of the same contract at 17.04. This undoubtedly shows a revenue loss of 10 million under the period reviewed. Given the cost of material supplied and waste uncovered following the review, auditors recommended that any such future procurement should follow the value for money objective by identifying needs and assessing various options. Based on the above recommendation, there was an urgent need to shift from the traditional method of buying number plates and accessories from vendors to public-private partnership. In anticipation of the starting of the new year, starting the new method for the following year, companies were invited to make presentation before the police command. The companies that initially responded include Comfort Quality Service, Sahel Job Enterprise, Tuba Business Enterprise, and Global Trading Company. In June 2018, the ministry initiated a tender process, allowing other interested companies to bid. Subsequently, 4 additional companies expressed interest. These were Fayline Company, Terugal Multimedia, Samart Gambia, and TK Motors. The Ministry of Interior tasked the contract committee to do the procurement process for aluminum number plate with the following key features: self-destructive holographic sticker and a barcode system. Honorable Speaker, under the invitation to bid provision of the GPPA Act, there were instructions set out to consider before participating in the tender process, and below are the instructions. Bidders are to provide replica samples of items bidded for when submitting their bids. A bidder should quote all the items listed or else be disqualified. A bidder should be able to build, operate, and transfer, meaning he should be able to provide the equipment needed for the printing, train the personnel to be involved in the project, and transfer all equipment to the Gambia Police Force at the end of the contract agreement. Honorable Speaker, qualification criteria were also set in the bidding document on how bidders were to be rated, and these are as follows. 1, administrative compliance. whether bid form is submitted, whether bid form is signed, whether bid security is up to 2%, as mentioned in the bidding document, and the bid form validity, that's 120 days. 2, documentary or certified proof of bidder that the bidder has unrestricted access to finance not below bidder's bid price. 3, prove the ability to pre-finance or credit line facility. Honorable Speaker, tender was closed on the 16th of January 2019 at about 12 p.m. 12 noon, sorry. And bids were opened 15 minutes later at 12:15, the same day. The companies that submitted their bids on the closing date and time were Comfort Quality Service, Sahel Job Enterprise, Tuba Trading, Fairline Company Limited, Tedugal Multimedia, and Samat Gambia. Honorable Speaker, during the bid evaluation process, the committee made the following analysis on each bidder. We start with bidder 1, Tedungal Multimedia. Although Tedungal has submitted its bid document on time and the bid form contained therein, although Tedungal submitted its bid document on time, the bid form contained therein was incomplete and unsigned. Section 2, subsection 11.1 of the GPP standard bidding document, that's the bidder's instruction to bidders, provides that bidders shall complete the form and appropriate price schedules furnished in the bid document. In the light of the above provision, the fact that Tedungal submitted incomplete and unsigned bid form, the committee considered the company as not meeting qualification criteria on administrative compliance and therefore could not move to the next stage. Sahel Job Enterprise, that's the bidder 2. Sahel Job submitted a signed bid form and on time, but the bid security submitted was less than 2% as required. The bid price for Sahel Job Enterprise was the sum of 32 million. 2% of which could have amounted to $650,000, whilst the bid security he provided is only 15,000. Consequently, could not be admitted to the next stage. Comfort Quality Service Limited. Comfort has provided business registration, GBPA, bid security proposal, bid form samples. There is performance of specification as required in the bid document, which were barcode, self-destructive holographic vehicle sticker, and aluminum number plate. Based on the criteria set for evaluation, Comfort Quality Service has met all the requirements except one, which is common to all the bidders, and that is the proof of past experience or similar work done not less than 3 consecutive years. This applies to all of them. Thus, the company was rated qualified for price comparison. The committee thus recommended Comfort Quality Service to proceed to the final stage of the evaluation, which is priced as far as they have conformed to the specification. Since there were no other competitors at the financial comparison stage, contract committee considered Comfort Quality as the most responsive bidder and thus submitted their recommendation to GPPA for approval on the award of contract of supply of aluminum number plate. The submission was approved by GPPA and subsequently the contract was awarded to the Comfort Service. Fairline is the fourth bidder. Fairline Company has submitted bid security, bid form, samples of aluminum number plates, but there was no barcode as required in the bid document. The bid document submitted by Fairline with the caption specification, the company did not fill column 3. That's the compliance of technical specification on items offered. Section 2, subsection 3.2 of the GPPA standard bidding document, that's the instruction to bidders, provides that bidders must fully conform to the detailed description set out in the technical specification and compliance sheet. Consequently, Fairline's bid was rejected for lack of conformity for technical specification and compliance sheet. I have the, but I want to move on because technical specification also, let me just read it. Technical specification refers to the characteristics of number plates, self-destructive holographic vehicle sticker with barcode that will contain the history of the vehicle. When the barcode is scanned by the law enforcement officer using the smartphone or any other gadget, it should display details of vehicle's ownership, driver's details, among others. Also, the holographic sticker must also be self-destructive and be impossible to be forged. Where someone attempts to forge it, the forged license disc will not match with the security features embedded in the particulars of the vehicle number plate. It must be aluminum number material to be used for the production of the vehicle number plate because this has a longer lifespan as opposed to the plastic one. We move on to Samart. Samart Company Limited has provided GPPA registration 2019 proposals, bid forms, bid security, annual recon certificate, samples with sticker but no barcode. Samart Gambia submitted sample number plates of Colombia, Spain, and Gambia, but none of the samples number plates matches the specification required. The committee could not establish whether those samples were actually produced by the company. The sample sticker submitted, as mentioned above, was not a self-destructive holographic sticker. Section 2 again, the same section provides that the bidder must fully conform to detailed description set out in the technical specification and compliance sheet. Consequently, Samart's bid was rejected for lack of conformity for technical specification, particularly the self-destructive holographic sticker, vehicle sticker. This sticker is the key component of the specification as it goes with the number plate and shows a unique distinction between vehicles. The number plate could be unlawfully transferred, while self-destructive holographic sticker could not be transferred, as once attached, any attempt to remove it will destroy it. It may interest the honorable members of this August gathering that the specification includes self-destructive vehicle sticker with quick response barcode that will contain history of the vehicle. This barcode, when scanned, should display details of vehicles such as ownership, map of the vehicle, the chassis number of the vehicle, and other details. Holographic sticker must be self-destructive and impossible to forge. Any forged licensing disc will not show security features embedded in the barcode on the number plate when scanned. Aluminum material must be used in the production of the vehicle number plates because of the longer span as opposed to the plastic. Honorable Speaker, in addition to non-compliance of technical specification mentioned earlier, Samart also indicated in their bid offer that the method of payment of ex-works attracts the following: 10% within days, 70% at goods dispatch, and 20% reception of goods. The committee considered such offer of payment as a clear indication of the company's inability to pre-finance as the whole investment, or lack the proper understanding of the concept of build, operate, and transfer, as provided under Section 1.4 qualification criteria under the bid, invitation to bid for the bidding document. Build, operate, and transfer in the circumstances mean the provision of all equipment, as I said earlier, for the operation, including printing, knowledge transfer, and infrastructure transfer to the procuring organization at the end of the contract. Honorable Speaker, it is on the basis of the above that Samat Gambia was not considered to proceed with the bidding process. Then we have the Tuba Trading. Tuba Trading has provided bid security, bid form, samples of aluminum plates, but there was no barcode submitted as indicated in the bidding. The company has not also submitted a field form on compliance technical specification of items offered. The bid document submitted by Tuba Trading did not include technical specification of items required and compliance for technical specification on items offered. The same section applies for the conformity of the conformity to the trade description. Consequently, Tuba Trading bid was rejected for lack of conformity to technical specification and compliance seat. That's the non-provision of the barcode and non-completion of the column 3 of the technical specification on items required. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I wish to further inform this August gathering that there are 3 main criteria needed to fulfill before the award of this contract, and this includes 1, administrative compliance. That's the submission of signed document, as I said earlier, and also technical compliance. Administrative compliance is first hurdle. If you pass that, you move on to the technical compliance. If you move that, you go to the financial compliance. So from the analysis of these individual bidders, all the companies that bidded passed the administrative compliance criteria except Tedungal and Sahel Job Enterprise, respectively. Tedungal Multimedia bid form was not signed, while Sahel Job failed in the bid security. Thus, the rest were qualified to move to the next stage. That's the technical compliance. With regards to the technical compliance, Tuba Trading, Fairline Company Limited, and Samat Gambia Limited all failed technical compliance for the following reasons. Tuba Trading failed to submit sample barcode as indicated in the bidding document, and also failed to submit a field column on compliance of technical specification of items offered. Fairline Company Limited, though submitted technical compliance form, it did not make any offer on the technical specification. Samat Gambia Limited failed to submit barcode, and the sticker offered is not self-destructive technical specification required. Consequently, the 3 companies were disqualified and thus could not proceed with the evaluation process, leaving only Comfort Service as the most responsive bidder. Thank you.
Honorable members, before we proceed, can somebody move a motion for us to sit beyond 6 o'clock to finish business for the day? We have 2 more questions. Can any member? Member for Bintang Karanai.
Yes, I move the motion that we sit beyond 6 o'clock to complete business.
Honorable member for Tumana.
Seconded.
It has been seconded that we move beyond 6 o'clock to complete business for the day. So, honorable member, you can proceed with your second supplementary question. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. So can we now continue with the supplementary questions? Honorable member.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I wish I am given more than two supplementary questions, because I have some. Okay, let me just put it this way. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister confirm that whether the sample tendered by the winner of this contract is the same product being issued to the Gambian population? Can you confirm that the sample given during the tender process, during the bidding process, is the same product being issued to the people?
Thank you very much. I have no opportunity to see the sample to make comparison because I was not there at the time of the transaction. However, I bring along the samples of some of the companies that submitted, more especially that of the most responsive and two other companies. Thank you. And my personal, the permanent secretary is here. I don't know whether he can provide. Can you provide the sample of the most responsive bidder for the inspection? But with the permission of the Honorable Speaker.
Are the samples readily available?
Yes, because I think the comparison is the most responsive, but can we, are we going to compare it? We have to identify a vehicle and then compare it with that vehicle, because the comparison has to be between two.
Honorable Speaker, can I come here?
Yes, please.
I think this is not the right moment to do that. It's a question, a process can be taken further to do that. I think that would be better. Okay, if you allow me, let me just proceed with my second supplementary. Yes, in any bid, when bidders bid and they are rejected, they must be notified. I'm not sure whether you notify them and whether you receive any objection to the awarding of this contract.
I'm not sure of the notification, but there was one of the companies petitioned the contract, and then it was sent to the committee for review committee, and then there was a response from the review committee.
Honorable Member for Upper Salem, your supplementary question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister confirm, during the award of this contract or on their requirements, was it that they were only required to provide for new plates, or they were required to print for all the plates across the country?
I don't get your question right. I don't know where you can.
The question is, was this contract only for new number plates, or to provide for new number plates and also to replace the old ones? Was it only to replace or to create for new ones? Because right now we've been asked to change our number plates. So I want to find out whether the contract actually entails changing and also providing for new number plates.
Thank you very much. Because the specification, the extra specification on the number plates is what warrants people to change their number plates, because we require a barcode. We need to know upon, if we want to test the ownership of that vehicle, the year of manufacture, the color of the vehicle, whether the number is intact. It's only when there is a barcode or holographic sticker on it that you can test that. So the old license do not have that. The old license do not have that. The old number plate do not have that. This is why we are introducing a new one.
Honorable Member for Woodley East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Minister, if I hear you right, said it's a restricted tender. Restricted tender, not an open one. And I think you mentioned something like 6 companies that actually went into. So how do you arrive at the number? It's restricted. Now, how do you arrive at the number? Is it that there are more that have applied, but then you have selected only these 6 to look at, or do you select these 6 only to look at these 6? How do you go about that?
I said in the, Honorable Speaker, as I said in the initially, 4 companies showed interest, and only 4 companies made presentation before the police command. Then when the ministry initiated the tender process, they invited any other interested person to come up. So the 3 other companies came in. So TK Motors finally did not submit any bid document, but the 6 others submitted their bid documents to the ministry, and evaluation was conducted on them. And as I said, the first criteria that they used was the administrative compliance. And the condition is that you must pass administrative compliance before you move to technical compliance. And you must pass technical compliance before you move to financial compliance. So 2 dropped at the administrative level, 4 others dropped at the technical compliance level. 3 others dropped at the technical compliance level. It remains only 1. I don't know whether I answered your question right.
Honorable Member for Bintang.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you made mention that you make a loss of $10 million before it was tendered. And now, if I quote you right, from when you tendered and now the contract is given to Comfort, what is the situation in terms of profit and loss?
There is no loss because we have not, this is the build, operate and transfer. We have 40% there. There is no loss on our side. We are in fact gaining. The initial listing, that's why the auditor says we should discourage that, because we are putting our money and then getting great loss on that money. Now we are not going to let somebody come and bill it and operate on a share basis. Now we are not getting 40%, 42%, 42.58, 48.52, but it's very close to 40%.
And it's quite 40 or the company itself?
The company is higher. Okay. 58.42. 58.42.
Honorable Member for Brikama North.
Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister indicated that regarding the rejected bidders, he confirmed a petition from one of the bidders.
Two,
and went further to indicate that there was response to that effect. But can you share with this August Assembly what was the basis of the petition and the response to that effect?
One thing with one of the companies that petitioned is that the basis of this the company's complaint was that the reason why they are rejected, and the reason was explained to them because you only present 2%. You bid for 2% guarantee his bid 2% guarantee should be equivalent to 650,000, when the actual guarantee that he has was 15,000. All right. In fact, quite a number of them have been coming to me when I was appointed, the minister. I only have the opportunity to go through all these things when I became the minister, and I review everything, and this is why I'm responding in this way. But this is the reality on the ground. People, most bidders do not understand the system, because if you make mistake of not signing, like the first one, Tedungal, there's initial all the pages. To me, even I look at their proposal, it's one of the best, as far as I'm concerned. But they signed all the initial all the pages, but the seal part of it, where they should put their signature and company name, is not signed. So, and they were dropped at the administrative level. But hadn't been that they were qualified to proceed to to technical certification, probably they would have been part of people who are qualified to listen. So, but they were, quite a number of them were dropped at stages, and there are reasons, tangible reasons for dropping them at those stages. Because these conditions are such that you cannot proceed without being eligible to proceed. That's the problem.
Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Honorable Minister, maybe I don't understand. This number 6, and you said it's restricted tender, and it was 6. When was this reached? When was this 6 reached? Before the floating of the tender or after the floating of the tender?
I don't know. Can you repeat that question once again, please?
In your submission, in your answer, you mentioned that it was a restricted tender and 6 companies bidded. But during your explanation, you talked about TK Motors, which you said did not bid. So how did you get to the 6th number? Was it before the floating of the tender or after the floating of the tender?
Like we start with TK Motors. TK Motors shows interest because when you are interested, you come. They approach the command, and he was arranged to be part of the bid, and he even bought the bid form, but they never turned up. They never presented back their bid documents. So all these companies got their bid forms, and only 6 brought in back their bid forms. So this is the situation. I don't know whether. So it was not restricted because well, companies have been identified already because they went to make presentation. The only additional companies that were added onto were 2 or 3 others at the level of the ministry, because while the 4 companies were engaging the police, the 2 or 3 other companies also were engaging the ministry. So when the request comes from the police, that already 3 other companies are with the ministry who shows their interest, then we allow all of them, the 7 now, to purchase the bid form, and only 6 out of the 7 responded with their bid documents. And out of this, then we start to see their compliance at different levels.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Minister has informed this Assembly during his submission that 2 companies did petition through the GPPA Compliance Review Board. I would like the Honorable Minister to share with us what was the outcome of the GPPA Compliance Review Board based on the petition given by those 2 companies.
I don't have the report, but I want to believe that they are all negative. As far as that's why the tender process continues.
Member for Upper Salem, you want to come up with you have an observation?
Needed clarification.
Yes.
Yes, and the clarification I need is, the minister did mention during his answer that 6 companies were chosen, and this was a restricted tendering. But at the same time, he also said all of those 6 of them did not have any experience to do this work for the past 3 years. So then the question becomes, how were they able to choose those 6 when in actual fact they did not actually have the experience to do so? So I really need to get some clarification. Why was it restricted when they know that these people, they don't even have experience in the first place? I'm a little bit confused.
You only know their capacity when they submit their bid. You cannot know their capacity when they don't submit. Because there are levels that you look at. That's why you have this level 1, 2, 3 compliance. It is very straightforward that if somebody has only 15,000 in his account and is offering to bid for something that is 32 million, and the requirement is only, let him only guarantee 2%, and 2% of that 32 million is 650,000. You only submitted a guarantee of 15 million. That means from that point, the evaluators will know that you don't have the capacity.
think he's missing the point. The point I'm trying to get at, why was it restricted? Why was it in the first place? Because again, we all know
it was because of the urgency, because the new year is coming, and there is this audit recommendation that government is running at a loss by subcontracting people to supply us with this thing. Let us put up a method that would at least avert that losses. So in that rush, that is why the restricted tender process came in, to quickly establish something before the new year starts. Thank you.
Honorable Woolley, that's the last one, and then we'll proceed to the next question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I want to know, during this process, what is more important to the ministry? Is it the quality or is it the time frame? Which one is more important for you? What is the most important consideration you have given?
It's obviously the quality. It's the quality. But also we are very mindful that if we not start it before January, we are going to incur the same amount, 17 million, against the government. That was the rust. We want the quality, but everything has to be settled before the year begins. Otherwise, the government is going to run at a loss again. So the magnitude of the loss is too high, 17 million.
Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on a point of order, order 53K. 53K, yes. I'm moving a motion for the Defense and Committee for Defense and Security to dig into this contract properly and report back to Parliament.
Law for this issue to be referred to the Defense Committee and report back to plenary. Any seconder? Honorable Kiang Central.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Has been moved and seconded that the issue of the licensing, the contract be looked at by the Defense Committee and report back to the plenary. So the table office and the office of the clerk will arrange for this meeting. Thank you. So we'll proceed to question number. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Honorable Speaker, Mr. Speaker, can you clarify something here? Can you amend what you said? You said licensing. Is it license or number plates?
No, license number plates. Motor vehicle license number plates. 80 of June 2021 by the Honorable Member for Serekunda West.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Interior furnish this August Assembly with comprehensive records of all the murder/manslaughter cases from June 2020 to the end of May 2021, and how many of these cases are in court?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. 23 armed robbery cases were reported from June 2020 to May 2021, 31st May 2021. With regards to the recovery made during the period, the following items were recovered. That's okay.
Yes, I think the Honorable Minister is answering a wrong one. That was the last question, the second to last question before the last one. That's what the Honorable Member asked.
Question is question 80 of 2021. Question number 80.
That's what I have.
The answer you are reading, is it for manslaughter or murder?
This is for, the answer that I have is armed robbery.
And that's question number 81.
Okay, yes, you are quite right. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, 32 suspected murder cases were reported in stations within the country during the period under review. Out of the 32 murder cases reported, 3 cases were convicted. 15 cases under investigation, 9 out of which with our suspect, while the remaining 6 are with suspects. 14 cases pending in court trial. In short, 17 cases are put before the court out of the 32, and 3 convictions, 14 pending. The remaining 15 cases, 9 are without suspects and 6 with suspects undergoing investigation.
Member, any supplementary question? Any other supplementary? Woolley East.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I'm just wondering whether your ministry has put any contingency in terms of training police officers to investigate murder cases. Do they have any specialized training on investigating this type of suspects in the country?
Quite a number of officers have training even outside the country on homicide investigation. We have we organize local training for police officers. What we lack here is a scientific method to tie suspect to certain activities or certain articles. We don't have the forensic lab. We don't have the ballistic experts. We don't have handwriting experts. We only have handwriting experts, 2 handwriting experts I know in the country. They are all retired, very old. One of them is very old. The other one is active still now. So these are the oldest experts in handwriting. Ballistic, we rely on the army, and we send if it is death happen as a result of firearms, we'll send the bullet or the weapon to the army to connect the bullet to the weapon, and also connect them to the disease. So it needs some scientific knowledge, and this is lacking.
Supplementary question, Janjambure.
Minister, you said 32 murder cases altogether. 3 already convicted. 15 under investigation. What is happening with the 14? The remaining 14?
No, may I repeat that again? Because a total of 17 out of 32 are the ones taken to court. 17. Out of these 17, 3 we secure conviction on 3, and the 14 are pending in court. 17 from 32, you have 15. The 15 cases are the ones that are under investigation. Out of these 15, we have 9 of them are without suspect. We don't identify a suspect to the killing yet. Then the remaining 6 are with suspects, and they are under investigation.
Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister indicated 32 suspected murder cases in just 1 year. In a small country like the Gambia, that is quite alarming and worrying. What remedial measures, or what could have contributed to this, and what remedial measures have your ministry put in place in order to check and prevent the recurrence of such crimes in the country?
Everything possible is being made to make sure that there is high reduction of crimes in this country. But if you look at the statistics also, you will discover that the location where these crimes are committed are domestic, quite a number of them. And some of them are committed by people that we consider as unsound in mind, and they are living with us. So this is the responsibility of everybody here. Because if the crimes, most of the crimes all these crimes are committed in the street, then we can understand. But some of them are honest killings between people in the same household, people in the same setting, people between mother and father, or father and mother, or son and father. So these are within our society. And it's going to be difficult for police to police inside our compound. But for the one that occurred outside, that is totally the responsibility of the security to make sure that crimes are not committed outside. But every one of us also have a responsibility, if your relative is unsound in mind, to make every effort. You know, just last week, somebody attempted to kill the mother. We sent officers to go there. Finally, the mother herself insists that boy is not going out. They have to call me, and I said, I insist that he has to be taken. So these are the problems that we are facing. So it is a responsibility of everybody. On the part of the security, we will do everything possible to make sure that the crime reduces drastically. But community also have a responsibility here. We've been living with people that we know definitely can act otherwise.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you.
The time is 2 minutes. Please.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Now, Honorable Speaker, the Minister did mention about the lack of forensic lab to test some of these issues. But then I remember in 2017, the former Minister of Interior mentioned about a forensic lab being built in this country for about 48 million. So if the current minister is saying that there is no forensic lab, what actually happened to the former minister who said that a forensic lab costing 48 million will be built in this country?
That deal did not materialize. That's the bottom line.
Honorable nominated member Ndeya Seka.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask this question. Honorable Speaker, murdering is something that really disheartening everybody. And I think what you are saying that are not, what the Honorable Minister is saying that is not available, I think is since 19-something, I don't know, 64 or 63. Up to now, what are we doing to make sure that these are available so as to minimize what is happening? Now everybody is afraid to go out. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I don't know whether it's a question, but if it's a question, let me just answer. But I'm considering it as a statement.
Sorry. You are saying that this lab that you are talking about, you say is not available. And then you say maybe handwritten something is not available. You name all those things that are not available. So since time immemorial, these are not available. Now what are we doing? What are the mechanisms put in place for government to prioritize that these are available? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Everything that requires to facilitate the work of the police has been declared, and different assessments conducted. We have some of our officers who had the initial training on those things. But for the fact that we don't have the infrastructure in place yet, they could not proceed with their cause. Because I personally, when I was the Inspector General of Police, I employed quite a number of about almost 6 medical doctors. The purpose of that is to at least, because they are in the medical field, they will be able to, it's easier to incline to the forensic field. So that was the purpose, but unfortunately up till now it's not materialized, and they are currently with the RBTH on secondment. But we will see what we can do, because we already submitted our need assessment, and all these things will come up very soon. But there is a need for us to have all the scientific support unit intact to support the operation. To gather, to arrest people is very easy, but to connect them to the crime is the most difficult thing. And unless you have equipment to connect them to the crime, taking them to court will also render your effort useless. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Opanyomi, that's the last one on my list.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I just want to ask the Minister, like some of these murder cases that occur in the country, it's better like when he's, giving his answer to the Assembly, he segregate them, whether they are domestic violence or maybe it happened outside, so that people have clear perception how this crime occurred. Thank you. It's just a statement.
Question number 81 by Honorable Member for Serekunda West.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister for Interior inform this August Assembly of the number of armed robbery cases reported to his ministry? And if any, how much recovery is made in terms of cash and material?
Honorable Speaker, a total of 23 armed robbery cases have been reported from June 2020 to May 31st, 2021. With regard to the recoveries made during the period, the following items were recovered. A Mercedes-Benz, $258,000, 300,000 CFA, 70 British pounds, 440 Canadian dollars, 250 euros, 500 US dollars, and mobile phones, several.
Honorable Member, any supplementary question? Woolly East.
Honorable Speaker, I want the Minister to help us to explain how many of these cases are linked to Gambian citizens and how many of them are linked to non-Gambian citizens.
This can be, I don't have it readily available with me here, but can be made available because it's in the statistics unit, and I wouldn't mind giving it to you as quickly as possible. Yes, the sex variation, age variation, the nationality, all is available.
Supplementary? Any other supplementary question? Member for Brikama North.
Minister, inform the August Assembly what has happened to the items or the monies that have recovered.
The items, Honorable Speaker, when they are recovered, the procedure is that every station has an exhibit keeper, a person who keeps exhibit until they are put before the court. And the person is responsible of those items until submitting them to the court. That register is maintained at every police station, and there's also a register called the movement of exhibit maintained at every police station. So if we are moving exhibit from police station A to B for a burglary for prosecution office in that other station, it is weighed in that book. So the exhibits are at their respective stations of origin. Thank you.
Member for Jara West.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, those armed robbers that are being apprehended, to the best of your knowledge in security, are they professional robbers in the country, or these are accidentally organized to do robbery?
The number of robberies that we are now accounting for today, only 2% of those robberies are sophisticated. The rest are corner street attackers who picked on who rely on the opportunity that they have at the time. Thank you.
Commander.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, robbery cases in our country today is on an increase, and as a result of so many factors, including drugs, rural and urban migrations, unemployment, rise of cost of living in our country, deportation, you name them. So I wanted to ask you, would your ministry initiate a multi-stakeholder dialogue through the cabinet so that we sit down and discuss on this so that we can have a way forward as a country?
We are ready to involve anybody in the fight against crime. But I'm not sure what sort of engagement that you are talking about, because crime is committed. What are we meeting here for? That's what I don't understand. But anybody who wants to come on board in the fight against crime, we are willing to accommodate and to partner with you. So if that's a suggestion, it's a very good suggestion on the side, but I don't know the purpose. Because you said if you want us to join us in what form?
Can I?
Yes. We still have two more people.
Yes, I am asking, what I'm saying is, would his ministry initiate a multi-stakeholder dialogue? That's what I mean, to avert the occurrence of some of these robberies. Because people, it has to do with young people, which also has a connection to do with unemployment rates and stuff like that. So if we have a multi-stakeholder dialogue, whereby all the stakeholders are going to be invited to discuss on this, to avert the occurrence.
We are ready to do that, if that is what is going to definitely help in the fight against crime. We are ready, and we will be very pleased to partner with anybody. Thank you.
Nominated member Ndeye Yassin.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the Minister that if an armed robber is apprehended, does that mean any investigation? Because you know that he is the one who took your property, and you get it from him, and still the police officers are telling you, leave it here, we are investigating. Can you elaborate more on this?
I'm sure honorable member would have seen a lot of recoveries emanating from a particular break-in. We have arrested suspects on a particular place, for example, Bakau, and that leads us to series of break-in in Brikama and beyond by the same person. So if we are only talking about dealing with that, what he has committed, he might have committed a series of those type of offenses in the past, or there are even plans for him to commit more offenses in the future. So this is the reason why investigation you have to look at his background, know his antecedents, what he has been doing, all these things, and connect him, and probably taking his fingerprint, because the fingerprint lifted in one incident a year ago can connect a prisoner today.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. With your permission, may I come back? I don't think the Honorable Minister understands what I'm asking. I mean, example, I come to your house and I take your mobile. You know that I am the one who took it, and I need my mobile urgently, and you still want investigation. Why not you give me my mobile, I go on my way, and then you continue your investigation?
Honorable member, if your mobile is given to you, that's the end of the investigation, but that's the end of that part, police dealing with that person also, because they are going to release him. He's not going to be taken to court because there is no evidence. The article in question has already been handed over to you. So that is the reason why we have to proceed to the court. But if you only recover, it's happening in many areas, and that's why people still continue doing the same act. Police will arrest, they will come and say, small mobile direct, then take it. And for them to come back even to the police station, you cannot make them available again. So this has been going on. I think we should sacrifice a little time to proceed in matters to court. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Same.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, may I inform the Honorable Minister that, especially during the rainy season, villages at the border, they always experience this armed robbery. So what is his ministry plan towards that?
Robberies at the border is very minimal now, because we have recently put up a team in 2 or 3 locations comprising of the military and the paramilitary. Recently, in recent times, that we are not receiving any robbery around the border. All the robberies that we are is in town, and they are petty robberies. They are not aggravated robberies. But because they are classified as robbery, we take it. It's just taking somebody's moving and you forcefully take his mobile phone. That is the most common thing that we find in Serekunda. And 95% of the cases that I've mentioned are that type of robbery. But they are not aggravated robberies. We have only 2% of the robbery cases as aggravated.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. We have now come to the end of the question for the last question on our list. You are now released. Thank you for your response. Honorable members, I now put the question. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Monday, 28 June 2021 at 10 a.m. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The Assembly now stand adjourned until Monday, 28 June 2021 at 10 a.m. prompt. The session adjourned.